What is up, everybody? We are live from the studio. I'm Tyler Fullerton, owner of a studio, personal trainer here in Arizona, and owner of Fullerton Nutrition, a supplement company. So what we're doing right now is, if you are watching this and you have questions about keto, weight loss, low carb, Atkins, whatever you are doing to try and get that fat off the body, use and abuse me. Ask those questions, what you need help with, and I will absolutely answer those questions, basically letting you know exactly what I would do and what I have my clients do to get that fat off the body. Because honestly, losing weight is super easy. You just have to have a game plan and know exactly what you need to do for your body. So with that, let's start dropping those questions. And if you guys ever need more help, these live Q&As are for you. This is why I'm doing this, to make this weight loss thing as simple as possible. So start dropping those comments with whatever questions you have, and I will come back and answer them. Like I said, all these questions I'm answering right now are from all of the last past questions, and I'm answering those live right now. So your question you ask right now will be answered on the next live Q&A. So don't miss it. Hit that like, follow, share, whatever button you need to do, the ding, the subscribe if you're on YouTube, Facebook. We are live all over the place right now. So definitely hit that like, subscribe, whatever button you got to do so you never miss a live Q&A. So you can get that question answered for you. So let's break down some of the questions. So Katie basically put out her height, weight, age, and activity level for what type of calories to be taking in and what her calorie goal should be. So I'm not going to break that down because all of that is on my website. It's just fullertonnutrition.com. Go to the menu, the top left, hit tools, and it will break it all down for you. But she also asks, what should my macros be? So first off, what are macros? Macronutrients, all that is your carbs, fats, and proteins. That's it. 3 macronutrients: carbs, fats, proteins. And how they get broken down is, whenever you're trying to calculate your macros are going to add up to a certain amount of calories that you should have. So that's why it's so important to be sure that you are tracking. If you guys have been following me for a while, you all know that tracking is the most important thing when it comes to weight loss, weight gain, maintenance, whatever your goal is. You still have a macronutrients to hit. So how I like to break mine down: first off, how many calories is in fat, carbs, and proteins. So 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. And then 1 gram fat equals 9 calories. And then 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. So you got to know that. You really don't, because I always have everybody use a calorie calculator. It does this all for you. So that's what I always tell people to do is, once you get your calories, go to MyFitnessPal, get it. It's an app, it's free, and download it. Put in your calories that you should have, and it will spit out the numbers for you of how many grams you need. But the key thing is what are the percentages for those macros, what they need to be and everything. So how I guess I'll just leave that up there. So 4 calories, 4 cal. So how I like to break down how my macronutrients is, where my calories are coming from. That's how I break it down. I want, what is that? I want 40% of my calories to come from fats. 40%. So it's the percentage of calories where they're coming from. So 40% of my calories are going to be coming from fats. No, that doesn't add up at all. It wasn't 40. I lied. It's 60. So 60% of my calories are going to be coming from fats. So I'm going to erase that one. It's the best part about being live. There's no bloopers. You get to watch it live with all the bloopers. So 60% of my calories are from fat. And then 35% of the calories are going to be coming from the proteins. So why I do that is because it is very important to still hit the right amount of protein. I cannot stress that enough. That's why so many people who are doing keto and are so afraid of protein because it's going to spike insulin, they are way too low on their proteins. That's why people are losing their hair. Their nails are just getting brittle. Their skin just looks terrible because your body needs the proteins to reproduce those cells and everything like that. So that's why protein is very important. That's why I do 35% protein and my fats are not 70 to 75%. And then that leaves me with 5% of my calories are going to come from carbs. And people are always like, how in the world do you do that? You get your carbs from your vegetables. That's it. That's the only place I'm getting the carbs from. And when I'm doing the 5%, that comes out to, usually it's over 20 grams, but I stay around 20 grams of all carbs. So this is the macro breakdown of how I do it. 60% fat, 35% protein, 5% carbs. When you go into MyFitnessPal, you can go to settings, goals, you can click on that and it will actually go and you can change your settings. It'll change your percentages. So if your calories, for instance, are 2,400 and you put in that your goal is to hit 35% protein, 60% fat, and then 5% carbs, it's going to give you the grams of what to hit. So what's nice is you don't have to do any of the math because it does it for you. So that's why I always have everybody do MyFitnessPal, because it makes it so simple. That's the key to this, making it simple. Because if it's not simple, you're not going to be able to stick to it. Let's see here. What else? So Tina, I've lost 25 pounds and stopped keto with 5 months again. Well, back to already pounds. That's the thing, guys. And I see this question a lot, and it is, what do you do after you've hit your goals? Do you go back to the way you ate? No, of course not. Because if you go back to what made you gain weight in the first place, you're going to gain it all right back anyways. So what I always tell everybody is, once you hit the goal, wherever you're at, wherever you're happy with, don't make your goal a weight. That's one thing that drives me crazy. And this is what I always tell everybody. Would you rather look amazing and the scale look terrible, or the scale look amazing and you look terrible? You got to give and take. Like, which one do you want? Do you want to look good? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to feel more confident and stuff? Then don't worry about the scale. It's just a number. But when you hit your goal, when you're happy with where you're at, you got to go in and get your maintenance calories. Yes, you still have to have a certain amount of calories to maintain weight, gain weight, lose weight. That's why calories and macronutrients are so important. So with that, you go in, instead of getting your weight loss calories, you do maintenance calories, and then you'll have a new number that comes out. And then how I always have everybody do this is break down your meals into 3 meals. So whatever your calorie goal is, break it down to 3. So for instance, for mine, it's 2,400 calories for weight loss. I will break that down, so I'll divide that by 3. That is 800 calories per meal. So with that, it makes it so when I go out to eat, I know exactly how many calories I need to do, and I'm not struggling to hit those calories. I'm not lost because I know exactly where I need to be. So it's not like you go look at a menu and let's say your calorie goal for easy math is 1,500 and you just had a 700 calorie meal. So now you have to go back and be like, how many do I need to have for the next meal? Just make it simple. Break it down by 3. Makes it a lot easier. You don't need to do the whole 6 meals a day because you're not having to worry about controlling insulin because you're not taking in those carbs and sugars that's going to spike your insulin. So that's what's key, is controlling that insulin. So you have maintenance calories, weight loss calories, and weight gain calories. Just remember that. So when you hit your goal where you're happy with, just do the maintenance calories. Don't start eating all those carbs and stuff because it's going to come right back. So definitely be mindful of that. Can you explain the whole subtracting fiber from carbs to count? Thanks. Daniela asks. So with that question, I count all carbs. I don't count net carbs. All carbs, if your package of vegetables says 17 grams, that's what your carbs are. But what people are doing is subtracting fiber from their carb count. So for easy math, if it says, the package says 10 grams of carbs and then there's 5 grams of fiber, then it is 5 grams net carbs. If you want to do net carbs, that's fine. But here's the thing. You could have 250 grams of carbs and 200 grams is fiber. So now it's saying you only did 50 net carbs. Guess what? You still took in 250 grams of fiber. Don't tell me that your insulin didn't spike from it. I had an entire bag of green beans and I got absolutely kicked out of ketosis from it. And that was the only thing that it could have been. So that's why I do all carbs and not net carbs. I've seen it day in and day out where people break their stalls from going from net carbs to all carbs. It's because you know exactly how many carbs you're taking in. You're not giving yourself an excuse to be able to eat even more and more and more carbs. So be mindful of that. But that is how you calculate net carbs. You can also subtract whatever the sugar alcohols are as well. But I don't like to do net carbs. I like to do all carbs because I've seen the proof is in the pudding. That's why I'm doing this. This is why I'm letting you guys know what I do, what I have others do, what I've seen has worked for others, and what I do. It's not like I'm just throwing a dart in the dark and hoping that it's the right stuff. Like, no, I'm letting you guys know what I've done. Not like I'm just throwing random stuff out at you guys. So that's why I like doing all carbs and not net carbs. So if you guys are doing net carbs, try all carbs and see what happens just for 1 week. See what happens. Who knows? You might get better results. Let's see here. What else you guys got? If you guys are watching now, please drop a comment on the original post. If this has been shared out or in a watch party or whatnot, make sure you comment on the original Q&A or I'm not going to be able to see your guys' question. So if you're not following Fullerton Nutrition on Facebook or on YouTube, you're probably not going to be able to get that question answered because I can't see it. So you have to comment on the original post. So make sure you're following Fullerton Nutrition on Facebook and on YouTube to be able to get your question answered to where you can watch all of these and my daily Fullerton Nutrition Daily of what I'm eating. I literally vlog the entire thing. So make sure to subscribe to all of that. Hit that like button, hit that share button as well, and drop a comment. All right, so what else we got? Do you count carbs? How many carbs? Which carbs? Total, blah, 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 blah. All right, so this question is, Gina asks, do you count all carbs and net carbs and how many carbs? So it's crazy, I just broke that one down. I do 20 grams all carbs. Don't do net, I do 20 grams. That's the magic number that I like to do. And let's break this down, make this clear as day. You can absolutely have carbs. You can have 250 grams of carbs a day. You can hit your calories and you can have all those carbs. As long as you eat 6 meals, you will still get great results. But everyday people don't have time to eat 6 meals a day. Like half of you don't even be able to get 2 meals. So that's why keto works so well, cutting out those carbs because you're not having that high insulin spike. And if you can control insulin, that is the key to weight loss. So I just want to get that out there. So when people are talking about, oh, you don't have to do keto to lose weight, you're right, you don't. But not everyday people are able to do 6 meals a day and be able to control that insulin. You guys, some of these questions, so with food items, when people ask, can I have this? Look at the food label. If there's a food label like fruit, look it up on Google. Like for watermelon, is watermelon okay? Absolutely not. Google watermelon and see how much sugar and carbs is in it. If you want fruits, the best fruits that I have found to be the helpfulest with the lowest glycemic index, that means with the lowest spike of insulin, is raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries. Those are the best ones that I've definitely found to be able to have. You still have to be mindful. You still have to measure those out. Because if you don't, if you ate a whole pack, you will absolutely kick yourself out of ketosis, having a huge insulin spike from it. It's still sugar. It doesn't matter if it's sugar from fruit, sugar from soda, sugar from wherever it's from, out of a candy bar. It's still going to spike insulin. It's still going to react the same way in your body. All right, here's one. I've been on keto for a week and I really want to have a cheat day. It's been a week. Come on. You got to find your why. Why are you wanting to lose weight? What made you gain weight in the first place? If you go back and eat that for just one day, you're not going to stop. You got to eat to live, not live to eat. Meaning, you got to look at a plate of food and know that the nutrients on that plate of food is going to help your body. A piece of cake has no nutrients for you that's going to help you thrive later in life. So I wouldn't have a cheat day because what's going to happen is it could take 3 to 4 days. 3 to 4 days to get back into fat burning mode. So if you have a cheat day every week on a Sunday, now 3 to 4 days, I'm going to be easy on this and just say till Wednesday you start burning fat again. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days out of the week you're burning fat. If you didn't have that cheat day, you'd burn fat for all 7. So if that's not good enough incentive of not cheating, I don't know what is. It's only going to taste good for a couple seconds and you're going to feel terrible and feel bloated, and all of that good stuff. So don't have a cheat day, guys. Like, you got to eat to live, not live. You got to eat to live, not live to eat. It's like the best saying ever. When you figure that out, that if you look at a plate of food differently as nutrients for your body, fats, proteins, minerals, and vitamins, all in a big ribeye steak and asparagus, you will make it so much easier on yourself. Trust me. What else do we got here? Like I said, guys, if you have questions, drop them now. Do not wait. Don't hesitate on dropping questions. There are no dumb questions. I will answer them the best that I can, especially with what I've done and what I've had others do. So here's a question talking about seasonings. What's a good seasoning to have? So yes, there is carbs in taco seasoning, but the amount of carbs it's not high enough to be worried about it. If you're just doing that taco seasoning, like let's say you're having a taco salad with ground beef, then you will be just fine. Just sprinkle it on, get enough seasoning on there. Just like with my sauces, I do barbecue sauce, I do teriyaki sauce, there's sugar in it. But if you measure it out right and caramelize it enough to where you don't have to put a lot on to be able to taste it, you're golden. Get amazing results still doing the barbecue sauce and still doing the sauces and spices. Here's another question. I've been doing keto, but the weight has not moved. So this is the one that drives me the most insane. That's why I talk about, do not worry about the scale, whatever the scale is saying. Go off of your height, weight, holy cow. Go off how you're feeling, how your clothes are feeling, and how you are looking in your before and after pictures and measurements. So those 4 things, you have 4 different scales to go off of besides the actual weighted scale. So don't go off of it. Go off your before and afters, how your clothes feel, and how you're feeling, and measurements. Take measurements. So, and the thing is the belly usually is the last thing to go around the belly button. That low is usually the last one to go. And what happens is when your fat is so dense and you start to lose weight, that's when you start to get that sag in the belly and it starts to come down just to where that belly button is, where the pant line is. So don't stress about it. It'll take time and it will completely retract, but you got to stick to it. You can't just be happy with where you're at and go back to what you were eating, and it all comes right back to you. Let's see here. What else we got? So I have I posted a video the other day on alcohols of what to drink and what to stay away from. I always talk about drink the heavy, hard alcohol because it's going to be quicker and you don't have to drink as much. But those mixers is what can definitely spike that sugar for sure. Let's see here. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing these lives Tuesdays and Thursdays. So whatever questions that are asked right now during this live will be answered on Thursday's live. So stay tuned for those. It's always going to be 6 p.m. Arizona time. If you don't know what time that is, Google it, and Google is your best friend. It'll tell you exactly when. But that's why it's so important to turn those notifications on so when I do go live, you can still see them. See, there's another question. I've been doing keto for a week and a half of not losing weight. What is going wrong? What am I doing wrong? So the things I'll always ask somebody who asks that question. Are you tracking calories? Are you hitting your macronutrients? Where did you get your calorie intake goal from? And are you working out? There are some big factors that can play a difference in those. So those are the questions I ask. So if you don't know, and if you're not tracking calories, start tracking calories. That's just rule number 1. Start tracking calories, hit your calorie goal. If it says to hit 2,400 calories, do not do 1,200 because Susie did 1,200 when she was doing HCG. It's going to all come back. 1,200 calories is not enough calories for anybody. I cannot stress that enough unless you weigh 100 pounds and you're like 5 foot. I'm 5'6", and I weigh 190. My calorie intake is right around 2,400 calories, and that's not doing high activity level. If I was, it would be a lot higher, like around 3,000 calories. But that's the thing. Don't ask your friends how many calories they're taking in, because they're going to have different calories than you are. Here's a question. Somebody asked, is it okay if I don't eat breakfast? So it depends. Like, are you talking about not eating at breakfast time? Yes, that's fine. Then you're essentially doing intermittent fasting. That's the thing. Everybody says intermittent fasting so hard. All that is you're eating all of your calories in an 8-hour window, and you are fasting for 16 hours. So like a time frame of what that would look like would be 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's an 8-hour window of getting all of your calories in. That's why I like to do intermittent fasting. It makes it a lot easier because I'm hungry for every meal, and I can get an 800 calorie meal in, and it's not like I'm indulging on that meal to where I feel like I'm stuffing my face, because I'm actually hungry and able to eat that because of the intermittent fasting and stuff. So low carb food besides eggs and veggies. Is that what that said? Eggs and veggies? Eggs and veggies. Well, veggies could be loaded in carbs. So like peas have a ton of sugar, but I can still have peas because 2/3 cup of peas is 12 grams of carbs. So if that was one meal and I have one other meal and only has 4, then that's 16. I could do another 6 grams of carbs in veggies and still stay under my goal of 20 grams all day. So measure them out. But what foods? You guys, all the meats in the world you can have. Fish, chicken, poultry, duck, sushi. You get all the sushi. But you got to still hit the right amount of macronutrient goals for your protein goal. You can't just have everything under the sun. So when I see people say you can have as much fat as you want, that's not true. If you had 10,000 calories of fat every single day, you're not going to lose weight. That's it. It's that simple. Because you still have to have calorie deficient, but not more than 30% of what your resting metabolic rate is. But veggies, you still got to track them. You got to measure them out and everything like that. And then with the fats, you're going to get a ton of fats from your oil. So avocado oil, coconut oil. If you guys saw my dailies, you'll see that I use coconut oil on my eggs, and it makes the eggs taste so much better. I can't stress enough. Have you guys had it? Let me know in those comments below if you've cooked your eggs in coconut oil. But olive oil is going to be good too. And then they have the avocado oil. So I see a lot of people eating a ton of avocados. One avocado is 12 grams of carbs. So just be careful with that. But the meat and veggies, if you had every single day with all your meals, meat and veggies, you will drop weight as long as you hit your calories. Hands down, no question about it. Another question, can you have too much fat and protein? Absolutely, because if you have too much fat and protein to go over your calories and your macronutrient goals, you're going to not be calorie deficient anymore. So that's why you still have to track. You can have too much fat, you can have too much protein. So that's a great question though. Let's see, what else do we got here? See, here's another one. Staying under 1,200 calories a day. You guys, you need to have more calories than 1,200. Go to the calorie calculator on my website. Seriously, go to fullertonnutrition.com after this live. fullertonnutrition.com. Go to the top left. Hit the menu button. Drop down, hit tools. Let me know what the calorie calculator said for you to have. I'm super curious. And then with that, here's your guys' homework. Go see how many calories you're supposed to be at. Track what you had yesterday of your calorie intake and see how far off you are. You will be mind blown on how under eating people really are. So that's what I want you guys to do. Definitely go and do that. And remember, on my website, I have everything broken down for you guys. So make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button, share it out. You don't know how many friends you could have on your Facebook, on your YouTube, Instagram, whatever you are sharing this out on, who could absolutely benefit, and they could watch it and it'll click for them. They're like, holy cow, I can start to do this. Because you don't know who's struggling with that weight. people have so many different reasons of what weight can change their life. That's why I got started in this. I love talking about this stuff. It is so simple. Just people need to have that right information out there. So go to fullertonnutrition.com. Go check those calories. I'm super curious to see what your goal of calorie intake should be and how far off you are every single day eating. But with that, drop all those questions now. Do not be afraid to ask a question. There's no dumb questions. I'm going to answer all of these on Thursday. So if you are watching this live, if you're watching this on a shared live, make sure you are watching on the original Fullerton Nutrition Facebook page or Fullerton Nutrition on YouTube. If you're not and you commented on this, I can't see it. So please comment your question, whatever you have on the original video, all right? Other than that, have your why, and I appreciate you guys a ton watching and commenting and sharing. Have an amazing night.